everyone, this is Brother McIntyre from the Bridgewater Ward, actually Harrisonburg 2nd. I live in Bridgewater, and you're in my workshop up over my garage, and I am demoing how to put Birdie hotels together. Woohoo! Take a little look around. There's like stacks of wood all over the place. These are the parts. I made like 15 of these little babies. Some for you girls and some for my grandchildren. So this is the final product. That's what it's going to look like. One, two, three. The sides are number 4. You put the number out. And I made these holes so that the screws will be countersunk and be smooth rather than sticking out. And this is the bottoms. Part number 1 and part number 2. And you got to nail 3 nails in from part number 1. Part number 1's bigger. And I'm using part number 4 just to hold it because it's about the right size. So you just line them up, and I have these handy dandy aluminum nails. They're white, they won't rust, and your birdhouse will be pretty forever. Okay, you have to have a hammer. I love hammers, I love tools. So I would just start the nail, and I drilled holes to help you get the best position. And then you just hold it so that the bottom is even and the side is even. It's not that critical, but once you have it to your satisfaction, I'm kind of picky. After the first one's done, I do the bottom and then I do the other end. So just get the roof line even. And then just hold it down tight and give some little taps. Okay, roof's done. The next step, put part number 5, which is the bottom, down, and then put part number 6 with the number to the back, and just put it down like that. That will make it so that these things are the same height, which is handy when you go to hammer it on. So it sits on there nice. Now come around back. I've designed that you could leave the overhang like that with a little overhang in the front, but if you want to put it against a house, it'd be better if you make the back even. So if you know where you want to put it up and you're going to put it on the side of your garage or on the side of a tree, then leave the back flush like that. So you just get your nails started. Some of the nails are nice and skinny and go in that hole without any pounding, but some of them are fatter. So I'm just feeling that till it feels like it's in the right spot. This is yellow pine. By the way, if you ever buy wood and you want to make it easy to pound, don't buy yellow pine. Take a look at that stack. You see the 3 pieces, 2 from the top? That's white pine. Much easier to put together. Yellow pine's good for doorways and stuff because it's very hard, but yellow pine is got a very strong grain in it. Okay, so the next step is to put the sides on, and since we're making the back of it even with the back of the porch, you want to make sure that the back of this is lined up with the back of that. Okay, we're going to use a screw with a special head on it. It's called the Torx, T-O-R-X, and this is the driver for it. what I'm going to do to make it easy for myself is I'm going to put over here by the side. I'm going to get the back lined up. And I'm going to just put the screw in there, a couple turns all by its little bitty self. And I'll start turning it with this guy. Still got the back lined up. Yep. And as soon as it starts to engage that backboard, I can push between the two of them. By the way, you girls need to know this. Screws hold a lot better than nails. So if you ever are building a skateboard ramp or something you don't want to fall apart, use screws. See, so I'm holding this back part down and I'm pushing so the screwdriver head doesn't come out of that screw. Boy, that wood is hard. No match for my screw. Okay, so what you need to note is that I was pushing really hard against this piece to get it to go into it. Now, if any of you have trouble doing that, you could take this piece, put it on there, and drill a tiny hole so that the screw could go in the hole. Okay. But it's called pilot hole, if you want to know. Okay, so this is the part we just put the screws in. So you just put that down, and then you take the part that we made first and just put it right on there. And then go ahead and put this right there and slide it up. The nice part about that is it's nice and strong. It'll make it easier to do our next step. Okay, and I can see that it would be real convenient to just tip this up and pound this on right here. What you'll see is it doesn't quite line up on both sides at the same, so you just get it in the center and put it down against that board. Okay, so there might be a little overhang on one side or the other. It's not that critical. Alright, so now when you have it on there, just take yourself some nails, put it in there, and give it some wax. Okay, now that'll stay in there at the right place. And see the back, I'm sliding it all the way up till it touches the bottom. Because if you're not careful, you might try to put it in like that, but you wanna slide that all the way up. Okay, so now we're ready to attach this end, and I calculated and put these holes where they should go right in. So I'm gonna hold down pretty tight and give little taps and hit it right over. I did it right. It stayed together. I'm gonna do this one. Good. Go ahead and do this one. All right. Now we have a waterproof housey, and it's already looking pretty strong. Okay, now we still need to attach this end, so I'm going to see if I can find a place that'll be easy to pound, and I'm not really finding a good place. I got this part, number 7, is going to be the perch, and guess what? It's just about the right height to give me something to pound on. So we'll put that under there temporarily just to give me something square to pound on. Now come up close. See how this side's sticking out a little bit? That's okay. And on the other side, this side's sticking out a little bit. That's okay. The birds will still like the house. If you've ever built something with wood, what you'll know is it's not always square. It's cupped and bowed, but it's nice and strong. Okay, again, I'm going to hold this down pretty tight. I'm going to get my hand 1.5 inches or 2 away from it because I don't want to hit my hand. And I'm going to give it little taps right in the center of the nail. One thing you should notice is none of these nails are going to go into the bottom. The only thing holding the bottom is the 4 screws, so that after the birds make a nest in it and it's fall, you want to clean it out so a new family can live in it next year. You just take out these 4 screws and you can take the bottom off and clean out the old nest. Now, I'm not exactly a ornithologist. That's a bird guy. So I don't know if you actually have to clean the nests out, but I have heard that is a good idea. All right, again, I'm going to try to hold this tight so the board doesn't bounce as much on me, and I got it right on the edge of my table. If that block had fallen off the table, I would have scooted it back. And then we're going to do this one. Whoa, hardwood. Hardwood, don't do that, Mr. Nail. These aluminum nails may not be quite as strong as steel nails, but oh boy. Well, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna run this in and let it spin. What that did was it made the hole big enough for the screw to spin freely in there, so that it'll, when it engages that piece of wood, it will go in. And then I back it back out, and it's now ready to put on this. And so we don't want to put it way up here because it won't engage the side, and we want to be able to drill our long screw in. So I'm going to put it maybe about even with the bottom of the roof, something like that. And I'm looking to see to line it up with these nails. That looks pretty good. And I just hold it on there tight, and ooh, that's hardwood. But impact drivers can go right into hardwood. Now you saw it kind of turn a little bit, so I'm lining this back up. And now I can go right in with the... Now, I am going to show you a little trick. I could make a hole right there, and then I could come back out and I could turn this over. This will make it easy. See that hole right there that the screw made? Now I can drill this pilot hole. I don't need to do the bevel part, just a little hole. Now, this screw will be much easier to put in that hole, as you will see momentarily. Now, that might be a little bigger than I should have used, but it'll still work. If you want to be careful, you might drill a little bit smaller one. Oh, it was perfect because it still went in hard. I'm here to tell you that'll stay in there till the cows come home. Moo. So anyway, now as you know, I said I want to put a spacer in here because if I screw that against the wall, and let's see, let me show you. If I pretend like this is the wall, the concrete wall. If I screw that against the wall, there's going to be a gap down here, and these screws here are going to want to, or it's going to try to break that board. So in order to avoid that, we're going to put this just little skinny piece on there so it has something to rest on. So now I'm gonna do this. Make a little pilot hole. And I don't think I'm gonna try to go in the same hole. I'm gonna make a new hole over here. So let me get this one in. And then I'm going to make a new hole a little bit further down here that'll go into that piece of wood, because I don't want to split it right there. I'm going to go in and out. And then I'm going to move that out of the way so I can go a little deeper. Now nothing should split. In fact, I think I got a skinny nail there, so that'll be kind of nice. And remember, nothing's going to be pulling out on that because that's going to be under compression because the weight of the house will be pushing against that. So you're really all done. It would be nice if, and I can go back and do this. I just put a beveled hole right there so that when you put your screw, and these are not drywall screws, these are exterior rated, so they got a coating so they don't rust and break. So now you can put that into whatever you want and it'll be there for good. So I'm going to show you a little trick that comes in handy. I want to drill a hole for the perch, but I don't want it to go, the hole to go all the way through. So I'm just going to hold a scrap piece up and put a piece of masking tape on it. Now I can start drilling my hole, and I just go slow. And I go up until the tape starts to drag on it. And then I'm done. Some of you may feel like your birds need something to stand on to get in that little bitty hole. By the way, that's a small hole for like finches and smaller birds. And that way sparrows might not make a nest in there. But if you don't get anybody set up home in your birdhouse the first season, you could make that hole bigger, and then bigger birds could make a nest in there. So I just tapped the perch in there. Now I would probably want you to put some glue in there so that over the years it doesn't get loose and fall out. But now those little birdies can land here, get up on here, and they have all kinds of ways to get in their house. Gonna make one little addition for those who are interested. These two drill bits, that one's bigger than this one, and the important part about that is this nail is a little bit fatter than that. So this is actually a good size for this, because the nail will have to still go in and do a little work. So you can use a drill. This one happens to be my favorite, Makita. And I just hold the chuck until the drill bit starts to engage. And then when it starts to turn, I crank that, and it makes it very tight. Now, we could drill a hole in any part that we wanted to make it easier to put the nail in. So like, for example, if I said, I want to put one more nail in there, but see that knot? That's very hard. You'd have a hard time driving through that. But with this, and see this has kind of got a lot of pitch on it, so I'll go halfway in and then I'll come out and let the sawdust come out. Now, see, I not only made a hole in this, but I made a hole in that. So this nail should go in very easily. Now it might still be hard right there, so I'm going to make this part a little bit fatter because I know that knot is very hard. See, it just fell right in because that's the same size as that. But the important part is the part down here is littler. So that's how you could make it easy on yourself. If you needed to do a pilot hole, just pick a drill bit that's just a little bit littler than the nails I'm giving you. Okay, after you're done with your birdhouse, it would be handy to sand the corners, any flakes, sand over this, and then put paint on it. And if you'll just go into your basement or wherever your parents keep their leftover paint and pick an exterior paint, and latex is easier because you can clean up with water. Get yourself a sponge brush and just, if you do the whole house, it's better because then it won't crack and weather. So that's just what I would recommend to do. So happy birding, Brother McIntyre. See ya.